Next door to my farm lives an order of the nicest, kindest, nonverbal monks whose temple is currently caked in manure. And I mean caked in manure. Top to bottom. It's a heck of a story. I'll fill you in as soon as you go. But basically, they're not here right now. And I thought it'd only be right and neighborly of me to get it hosed down in their absence. Something to give them a boost for when they return. They sure could do with one. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Power Wash Simulator. Ooh. Oh, yeah. There's that farm he spoke of. Right over there. Okay. Ooh, I like this area. It's purty. I love when an area has a wide array of different types of trees. It's kind of how it is where I live. This place is kind of tiny compared to what I thought it was going to be. Alright. So, where to start? Okay, he's going to fill us in on the monks, I suppose. But you know all about the mayor's pipeline diverting all the water from the river to the secret mining rig, right? No, this is the first I'm hearing about it. Those monks have relied on that river to water their crops for time immemorial. And now those crops are failing. Yeah, I know all about pipeline shenanigans. I think we're in Europe. Where in Europe I couldn't begin to tell you, but I gathered somewhere a handful of missions ago that this game is not American. For starters, they spell tire wrong. And I don't remember what the other clues were, but yeah, this is somewhere in England, I assume. It's a beautiful castle. Gothic, I believe. I'm not sure what you would call that. It's a really nice Buddhist temple. He says monks. I don't know that they're Buddhist necessarily. You could be a monk and not be a Buddhist. I think. You know what? I don't know. I'm speaking like I know. I don't know. I don't really know too much about that. I don't know if you would call Buddhism a religion. Is Buddhism a religion? If Buddhism is a religion, it's probably one of the only ones that I don't hate with the same vitriol and ire that I hate other religions with. I'll leave Buddhists alone. They leave me alone. And their beliefs are harmless. Their beliefs don't require you to believe in a fairy tale deity that's not real. So. I sure do hope I get my ladder for this. Okay, yeah, I see it over there. Okay, cool. Now, why I started on the side of the building, I couldn't begin to tell you. I have no earthly idea. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know a lot about Eastern belief systems and faiths. I really don't. I don't know much about Hinduism. I don't know much about Buddhism. I don't know much about. Oh, I sound so ignorant not being able to name more. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know much about them, if anything. Now the guy did say that this is caked in manure. Why manure? I don't know. How this much manure? I also don't know. Today's full of a lot of don't knows. But I have to assume that somebody did this. My hat came unclipped. I have to believe that somebody did this to them. Some sort of like attack or something. I don't know. If it's manure and not just dirt. It looks like mud. It doesn't even look like manure. And again, I guess I don't really know what manure looks like. Realistically. I mean, I've been out in a pasture before. I've seen cow patties. I know what cow and horse droppings look like, but like processed manure for gardening, I don't know. I don't really know what it looks like after that. I couldn't tell you. This temple is making me want to play Skyrim, though. I want to play Skyrim. It does make for good horror games. You are right. You are technically correct, sir, and as we all know, that's the best form of correct. I think I, like most people, would love to visit Japan someday. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but it would be nice. I don't know if I'll ever get to go, but it would be a dream come true. I tell you what country's on my radar lately, Singapore. It's a beautiful country. Beautiful. It first popped up on my radar with that Mario Kart stage. And I was like, this is like the prettiest, best looking Mario Kart stage. I was really enamored with it. Remember that they added all the Mario Kart tour stages into the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's when it first showed up on my radar. And since then, it keeps showing up on YouTube. Whether it be somebody casually mentioning it or a YouTube video, somebody doing a vlog there. Like just yesterday, I saw somebody on Instagram from Singapore posting about it. And I was like, I'm starting to really dig this place. Pretty much the same with Iceland. So right now, Iceland and Singapore are the two countries on my radar. Iceland is just beautiful, and as a white, ignorant American with a beard, I have a fascination with Vikings. I will say that a lot of dude bros ruined that for me, because as soon as I was interested in Vikings and wanted to learn about them and their culture and everything historically, from a historic perspective, all of a sudden, people being obsessed with Vikings blew up and became popular. And then a lot of like racist white dude bros kind of ruined it for everybody. So sad. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Your mom's been there? Oh yeah. See, that's a positive thing in my opinion. Like, you're not going to find chewing gum stuck all over the place. You're not going to park in it. You're not going to step in it. Not going to be on the train seats and park benches. And yeah. Have I played Silent Hill? I have not. I've seen people play them, obviously, on YouTube, but I've never actually played them myself. I like Silent Hill, and I have an interest in Silent Hill. I might one day look into playing them. I haven't decided yet. I know that I'm not a huge fan of third-person perspective in video games. I definitely like the first-person perspective more. It honestly kind of depends on the game, though, to be honest. Like with Pokemon, I guess I don't care as much. Things like Banjo-Kazooie or Mario, I don't care as much. Playing in third person with games like that is fine, but like Resident Evil, Silent Hill is kind of hard to play those. Hang on, I'm still trying to read the other. You sent a lot of messages, so it's hard for me to. And I don't mean any offense by that. Like no shade, as they say. But sometimes they can be hard to keep up. You like pirates better than Vikings? I guess pirates probably would be the lesser of two evils for that. Vikings were not somebody we should honestly be idolizing at the end of the day. Now, granted, I don't know a lot about Vikings, but I know there was raping and pillaging and like taking over entire areas. They were a very warrior-minded race, as to where pirates were just pirates. Pirates, you can have pirates of any country, of any race, of any territory. Ideally, pirates are still, not good. You don't want pirates. They disrupt trade routes and steal merchandise, and that can make the price of your goods go up, actually. So pirates are still not great. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about Vikings. So I really don't. I don't know that much about pirates either. Playing the lighthouse. I guess I don't know that game. Yeah, I like horror games. I like horror in general. I like horror movies, stuff like that. I've always been big into horror. Um, not so much in the last few years. It's kind of just gotten boring to me. A lot of it's just not good anymore, especially like horror movies are just not good anymore. But horror games, I usually try and play that stuff around Halloween. Um, it took me a while to cover all the Luigi's Mansions, but we have those under our belt now. We can actually play some new spooky games. I don't know what yet, though. There's a lot of good ones out there, I'm sure. Oh, that's not moss. That's actually the green as part of the door. Okay. I derped. We're going to need a ladder. Modern pirates suck. You're right. They are absolutely garbage. And, you know, it's like they said in that South Park episode when the pirates were talking to Butters, Butters is like, or that guy was like, why would you want to be a pirate? And he went on to explain that, yeah, they're kind of pirates out of necessity. If they don't steal and do what they do, then their family goes without food and necessities and stuff. Yeah, I get it. In that case, as much as I don't like crime, I'll turn a blind eye. If people are just trying to survive, I guess I can't knock them for that, you know. Again, it's not the best, but it is what it is. Yeah, I do like the old pirate outfits. They were pretty showy and pretty flashy and pretty cool. People used to dress with class. People don't dress worth a damn anymore. Everybody's just in a t-shirt and pants. Although I guess it is nice to be able to dress casual. I take that back. If I had to be in a suit and tie every day, if I had to put on a suit and tie just to go to the damn store and buy groceries, oh hell no. Hell to the no. Fuck all that. The hell is that? I guess that's the sun, but kind of behind the clouds. Yeah, you caught me. I was jaywalking. No, I really don't care for crime. Like, and they're like, I don't care for crime just for crime's sake. For people who are like, I feel compelled to be the villain in society, so I'm gonna go out and troll and make trouble. No, that to me, it makes you a real huge piece of shit. But let's say that a single mother who is struggling and she's been evicted through no fault of her own, and life just keeps throwing curveballs, and she, no matter how hard she works and no matter what she does, she just can't make it, and she can't afford the diapers and the formula, and she decides one day she can't do nothing else but to go in and steal it from Walmart. That to me is like, it's unfortunate, and still on paper it's crime, but I'll be goddamned if I'm not going to look the other way. I didn't see her steal shit. Like, people shouldn't have to steal just to get the bare necessities. That's stupid to me. But yeah, like carjacking, robbings, murder, like general crime in general, I don't care for. I don't care for like gangs, gang activity. I think all that's fucking stupid. You're in a gang, you're an idiot. I have zero respect for you. I mean, I don't like white collar crime either. Ooh, I did some insider trading and made some money. You're the reason that everything's fucked up the way it is. You deserve to go to jail. No. Person actually wear the type of outfit shown on the powers to carry. Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I know. I was more saying like in general, the clothes that you do see cartoony pirates wear, I like. You don't see those clothes anymore. You just don't see it anymore. I tell you, one of the other things I don't understand about human beings is drugs and alcohol. That's another one. That I have never fucking understood drugs and alcohol in my life. In order to get addicted to drugs, you have to start. You know what I mean? You don't just wake up one day at 32 and say, I want to have myself some crack. Like, there has to be circumstances, obviously, in life that weren't too great that led you down that avenue of choosing to do crack or meth or whatever the fuck. But it's like, were you just trying to have a good time one day and you took it too far and now you're addicted? Was life just too much to bear? So you turned to drugs to escape? Like, whatever the reason might happen to be. And I get that, you know, different people have different vices. Hey, I've struggled with food my entire life. I get it. I get it. I do. But I just don't get how you end up homeless on the street, addicted to crack, fucking breaking into cars and robbing houses to pay for your fix. Like, I don't get how you could get that far. Like, at the end of the day, there's gotta be a different way. It's gotta be something else. I've had many rough days in my life, and I've never wanted to do crack. Not once. It makes sense. gangs, and I don't understand gangs. I don't understand gang mentality outside of like it being an aggressive, like toxic masculinity, male dude bro thing of like, this is my territory. I peed on this fire hydrant, and if I see you and your friends near this fire hydrant, we're going to shoot you and fuck anybody in the crossfire that was just in the street that day. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see gangs. I think it's very fucking stupid. I also don't understand mafias, but I understand gangs even less. I really, really just don't understand. And I've tried to understand too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not just out here, you know, on my high horse, looking down my nose saying, there's no excuses. Life is gray, gray areas all over the place. You know, many terrible circumstances can lead people down a road that I couldn't possibly understand or sympathize with. But still, at the end of the day, just no. You didn't try hard enough to find another way. You know what? I should probably bring the ladder over here. See, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that gangs are like local, small time, like crime outfits where the mafia kind of goes against the government. It kind of like stealing like on a larger scale and doing things that way. Again, I really don't know much about either, but my basic understanding is that yes, that is correct. I could be wrong, but it's the way I understand it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be in a gang, be in a gang. I don't give a fuck. I think it's stupid. I think you're stupid. Now, if your gang actually did good instead of evil, that would be a different thing entirely. Maybe if your gang actually helped society in some way instead of subtracting from it, I'd have a different opinion. I'd have a different opinion entirely. Would Team Rocket be a gang or a mafia? The mafia. That's literally what they patterned Giovanni and Team Rocket on. Was like the idea of like the Yakuza and whatever, like stereotypical Italian American mobsters. Yeah, that's very much Team Rocket. I think that's why a lot of people respect Team Rocket more than they do other team leaders in Pokemon, because it went from being a very real thing to being such a cartoon. And I think that that was Pokemon's like bigger problem in general, is that it just kept getting worse and worse as the years went on. Because if you take away Pokemon as an entire franchise, strip away the anime, strip away all the merchandise, strip away every generation except Generation 1, you're left with a modern world. You're in Japan. You're left with a kid traveling around Japan around towns and cities and stuff that's very real, not a cartoon. And there's trains, planes, buses, metropolitan cities with skyscrapers. No Team Aqua or Magma. No Team Galaxy. No, none of that. No, Team Galactic. No, 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 none of that bullshit. And I think that that's why I'll always be a Gen 1/Gen 2 fan, is because something about those first two generations, it's a believable world. It's still a cartoony video game, but at the end of the day, it's more feasible and more believable than any of the other generations. It feels more like a lived-in world that's real. You had the early artwork too, where all the characters just look like cartoon characters. They didn't look like fucking anime characters. Oh, I miss that original art style. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, the guy at the end of Nugget Bridge that wants everybody to join Team Rocket. Yeah. Yeah. See, the problem is that Pokemon became a brand instead of just a neat concept. You know, if it had just been one or two games and never went on to do anything else, it would have been perfect. Oops. It would have been perfect. Fuck me, I forgot to start recording. I'll have to pull this VOD from Twitch. God damn it. God damn it. I always do that when I take a break. I went to the bathroom since the last job we did. I took a break. I washed some dishes. I did some stretches. And then I came back to keep streaming and forgot to hit record. I hate my life. I hate my life. But don't make any mistakes. Team Rocket is still really bad. They're a criminal organization. At the end of the day, they don't care about you or Pokemon or anybody else. Hell, Team Rocket is the only, as far as I'm aware, the only criminal organization in Pokemon that actually murdered Pokemon in game, in canon, and it was discussed in game, in canon. Team Rocket kills Pokemon. They don't care. They see them as tools to get more money. I mean, from a cartoony perspective, as a kid's villain, ooh, Giovanni wants to take over the world. No. More realistically, Giovanni was a super capitalist. He wanted to make a ton of money. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have mind ruling over an area, but it was more about just having money. Money. Because money equals power in our world. I do think that he might have been a megalomaniac. I'm not sure. Because he was already head of Team Rocket. He was already the gym leader of the strongest gym in the Kanto region. And he set out to get his hands, like, he couldn't capture the most powerful Pokemon in existence because it's debatable whether there even is one that's more powerful than any other Pokemon, just based on it being a video game and how the game mechanics works. So he was like, nah, fuck that noise. I will make one. If there's not one Pokemon that stands above all the rest in the world as far as power is concerned, I'll make one. Yeah, but they're a game character. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to a certain degree, it's still, you know, my brain has stopped. It's still make believe. I can't think of the word. Kinda. Mewtwo was theoretically supposed to be the most powerful Pokemon, but there were a few issues with that. Number one, the way that the mechanics work in Pokemon, a lot of psychic Pokemon are considered to be like, I really want to know what's over there. A lot of Pokemon are, a lot of psychic Pokemon are considered to be glass cannons. A lot of psychic Pokemon can do a lot of damage very fast using their psychic powers, but they go down quick too. They don't really have a lot of defense. I'm pretty sure that's changed over the years, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, see, that's the way I feel too. Mewtwo will always be the most powerful, no matter what they come up with. And see, that's what I'm saying about stuff running too long. Like, that was supposed to really, you know, drive home how special and how powerful Mewtwo was. But now, Mewtwo's treated like dirt. You know, Mewtwo's like nothing now to anybody. How do I miss this much stuff? How do I miss this much dirt? Tell me how. What sucks too for people like me is the older I get and the older the world gets and the further away we get from red and blue, the less I remember that era. You know, the less I remember of my childhood, the less I remember of, the less memories I have of it. Because at this point, any of those childhood memories I have of red and blue and Gen 1 and 2, they're kind of buried in a nonstop barrage and a nonstop release of anime, games, plushies, merchandise, advertisements, Nintendo Directs, Pokemon Presents. All that stuff has been so constant over the years and constantly in my face as a Pokemon fan that I have pretty much forgotten my origins almost completely. And Nintendo's not making it any easier on people like me. They have the Game Boy section of the Switch Online, but they won't put Pokemon on there. They just keep making these terrible modern Pokemon games that nobody likes. And what's funny is here's the thing that kills me too. Here's what I don't understand. Here's something that blows my mind. Pokemon games sell so incredibly well. yet they're so terribly made. I don't understand. Everybody online bitches about how terrible the Pokemon games are, yet they just keep selling like hotcakes, and they keep breaking sales records. Something does not add up in the world of Pokemon. And you have people like, and I hate to bring him up because he's starting to come up a lot when I talk about Pokemon lately, but Joe Merrick from Cerebi. He's a hardcore Pokemon apologist where he thinks that Game Freak can do no wrong. He likes every Pokemon game. I've never seen him complain about Pokemon outside of Let's Go Pikachu. He did not like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But yet he keeps, he fights with everybody on social media. It's just, I find him insufferable. And it's really a shame that Cerebi is such a popular go-to news website. If I had any other way of getting my news for Pokemon, I would. And at this point, I think I do. I think on Threads, I follow a lot of different accounts now to where I could probably just not follow his... Like, I quit following his Joe Merrick account, and I've just been following Cerebi, but I might have to quit following that one too, because people like him who just keep, giving ass pats to Game Freak and Nintendo while, yelling at us for having a critical opinion. This simping for terrible game makers is, you're not doing you any favors and you're not doing us any favors at the end of the day. Giving them a pass is only going to make it worse. Yeah, I had to quit following him because almost every other post is him whining about other people on social media, and I can't do that anymore. I do it enough myself. When did we get the steel type? Gen 2, I believe. Yeah, that'd have been Gen 2. Gold and silver. Steel type's my favorite. It is my favorite. Wow, this is a big window. I might need my ladder. Oh, I can hit it from this angle, though. Yeah. Okay, let me get up in here. Do you all use steel types? Or do they always reuse the same character models for NPCs? I don't know. Back in the day, it was just like a hardware limitation. So they had, I guess they had they kind of considered it trainer classes, trainer types. It was just their way of not being able to add a ton of characters to the game back in the Game Boy era. It was asking a lot to put data on those tiny little cartridges. At this point, it's just laziness. At this point, it's just cost cutting. They could add more and make it a real world, but they don't. And for people who say, oh, it's the Switch, they're limited. No, fuck you. Nope. Nope. Tons of RPGs exist from consoles prior that look way better than Pokemon and had way less people working on it, had way less money, stature, popularity working on it. There are RPGs from before the fucking Wii even existed that look better than Pokemon on the Switch. I don't want to hear you bullshit. I don't want to hear you make excuses. They're terrible. You know they're terrible. I know they're terrible. 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 Let me see. I can put this right here. Let me put it. You will be a bitch about this. There we go. The Game Boy was fun, though. I kind of miss it. Although, to be honest, I only ever played Pokemon on it. You know what? I'm just going to go over here. The art style is also terrible in modern Pokemon. Like, the art direction is just awful. I hate how the characters look. I really do. There's that fan project that always circles around on social media where somebody took and they made what Pokemon would look like with the watercolor art style from Ken Sugimori. Oh my God. Could you imagine living in a universe where we got that instead of all the bullshit we've gotten over the years? Oh my God. That would be so great. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I may not be. You hop on Sword and Shield real quick. But see, that's part of the charm. Like, the ugliness and the basic look to red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, even on the Game Boy Advance, the DS, the way all those games looked, they were working with very limited technology and they did a lot with what little they had. And that's what made it charming. That's what made it impressive. That's what made people like it. Now, Pokemon generates more money than any other franchise in existence. It is literally the most valuable IP on the planet. But their games look like that. So where's that money going? That's why it burns me up when you get apologists, who are like, just let people be, just let people have fun, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to moan, bitch, whine, and complain, and if you don't like it, you don't have to be here and you don't have to watch. Now, granted, I am trying to tone it down. I am trying not to bitch as much as I used to. But if the topic comes up, I'm probably going to complain about it. Just so everybody knows. I'm tired of not being able to call a spade a spade. I'm tired of having to tiptoe around everybody's feelings. I'm tired of having to tiptoe around everybody's wrong opinions. No, you're wrong. And I'll gladly tell you why you're wrong. Tired of this shit. You should creator of Pokemon. I just wish I had some input. Because it would be a hell of a lot different than what it is now. And I've heard every excuse under the sun. I really have. I've been on social media now since 2017. I've heard every argument for and against modern Pokemon. I've heard every point of view you could possibly imagine. Again, for and against. I've heard the arguments. A lot of people have made a lot of good points. Stuff I would have never thought of. And some stuff that I did think of. But this is, you know, and it goes above and beyond Pokemon too. You know, I've been really disappointed with the Switch 2. I've played 3 or 4 Switch 2 games now, and I've not liked a single one. I didn't like Donkey Kong Bonanza, Mario Kart World, Pokemon Legends ZA. These are all Switch 2 games that I've played, and I didn't like any of them. Now, here's what's the kicker. Metroid Prime 4 is giving me the same broken heart, on the fence feelings that I had for Jurassic World as a franchise and Jurassic World Dominion specifically. It's a franchise that's super important to me. I mean, so critically important to me that this isn't just another hobby and it's not just another franchise that I can walk away from. Metroid Prime specifically and Jurassic Park / World specifically, those two things are interwoven into the core of my being and what makes me who I am. Pokemon doesn't do that. No other franchise does that, no matter how much I like them. But they've been suffering. My babies are suffering. Metroid Prime, unfortunately, just turned out not to be good. It's not bad, but it's also not good. And it took me, you have to understand, it took me years to reach that level of maturity where I could say that and not blindly defend it, you know. Skip leg day so much you could jump fences and cliffs. Yeah, people in the Pokemon universe don't know how to get over obstacles. But yeah, I need everybody to hear, not you here in chat, but just in general, on a surface level. I need everybody to understand me, and I need everybody to actually listen to what I'm telling you. It took decades of maturing to get to where I am now, where I can love something so deeply and still set those feelings aside and say, listen, this just is not that good. And it's beyond not being good. It's terrible sometimes. And if you love something, you're going to want the best for it. You're going to want to protect it. You're going to want it to be great. It's like having a child. You want your child to live up to your expectations. You want them to do well in school, mature, grow, go out into the world and just kill it out there. You know, you don't want your child to be a bum. You know, it's the same thing with your IPs that you love. You expect people to handle your IPs with care, but they don't. Because we live in a capitalist society, too often, all these companies see are dollar signs. They don't give a fuck about your IP. They don't give a fuck about how you're connected to that IP. So when people are like, well, movies and video games are art, I'm just like, are they though? Are they? Because to me, art is something that somebody makes to express emotion or thought or express something about themselves to the world, to make the world think about something. It's not a product to be cynically made and then sequel after sequel be made, and you slap it on merchandise left and right, and then you sell it all over the place. It's the very fucking thing Ian Malcolm was talking about in the first Jurassic Park. You didn't have any discipline to obtain the technology you're using to bring these extinct animals back to life. You took everything you had read from all these other scientists and people who came before you, and you patented it. So now you're going to slap it on a lunchbox. You want to sell it, so you're going to sell it. You're going to sell it as a brand. You're going to stand on the shoulders of geniuses that came before you, and you're going to make as much money as you possibly can off of it. You're so preoccupied with whether or not you could get away with that, you're not stopping to think if you should get away with that. And that's exactly how I fucking feel about my IPs that I love. Movies, television, video games, hell, music, literature. Every single thing that we grew up with has been raped, pillaged, burned, murdered. They've dug up the ashes, raped them again, burned them again, buried them again, dug them back. It's a nonstop onslaught of companies just seeing dollar signs because people my age went through so much through the 2010s, through COVID, through the shit show that we're living in now. They know they can take our childhood, repackage it, sell it back to us, and they hope beyond hope that we won't overturn the government and burn this motherfucker down. That's what they're hoping at the end of the day. And they're getting away with it. Because we're all too exhausted to do anything else but just rebuy our repurchased childhood over, our repackaged childhood over and over and over and over. And if you're like, wow, you really got heated and went off on a tangent. Yeah, I did. Because you do not understand the real world implications. You do not understand what I'm telling you here. If you think this is just another rant, well, you're an idiot. You're wrong. You really need to understand how critical what I'm telling you is. I'm not saying don't love your franchises. What I am saying ultimately, though, is be wary. Be very wary about liking things that aren't good just because you liked it when you were a child. I make that mistake. We all make that mistake. We're all miserable, and we're all kind of chasing whatever happiness we can. And they're getting away with murder. I fell down, goddammit. No. That was my mic drop moment. I ain't doing a separate video. I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it all in. I delete too much. Because people are like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I need to accept my fate as like a ranty, bitchy person. Or if I can kind of get away with You know what? I might have to do this. Is if I put the ladder here. It's like the thing is, I want to come on here, and I want to be calm, cool, collected. I want to play a game, and I want to have fun, and I want everything to be chill. But the topic will come up that just sets me right the fuck off. And then I'll either delete it or I'll go on there like in the Discord or something and like apologize. You know, I think I'm done doing that. I think I'm done doing all that shit. I think at this point, people who follow me know that every once in a while you're going to get a rant. You're going to get a rant. It is what it is. It does not happen every episode, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's going to happen. Today it happened. It is what it is. What it is. Okay. There. But no, Gnome. Oh, look. He's up here by himself. Bye. I mean, hell, if out of anybody watching this video, I'll be honest with you, you honestly should probably like really take everything I said to heart, because you're still young enough where you don't have nostalgic memories yet. A day will come where everything you grew up with and loved is going to be cynically repackaged and resold to you as an adult. It's going to happen. And it's going to break your heart. Unless you don't realize it's happening. That happens too. Some people know it's happening and just don't care. Like they're so worn out from work and the stress of life that they just don't care. There's that too. The same reason people don't recycle or, you know, do other good stuff. I just don't have the time, or I'm too tired. Huh? History will remember. History will remember. Well, this is one vertical roof. Yeah, I guess that counts. But that's like it doesn't hit as hard. Wait till you're in your 30s and 40s and wait until everything that you just listed gets sold back to you like as a cynical cash grab. It'll hurt. It'll hurt more when you're older. Like it will knock the wind right out of you. You'll realize just like how fucked up everything is. You'll be like, damn. They really did that to me. You know. I'm having a thought. I'm gonna let that thought cook for a bit. You follow me on Instagram. And hell, I'm pretty sure I put it in vlogs too. I put up pictures of my old room when I was like a teenager and going into my 20s, the blue walls and all the video game stuff that we had. And then I put up pictures. I've recently put up pictures of like Tyler's current like home office slash game room. The amount of like figures, toys, amiibos, posters, just memorabilia that's just plastered over every inch of he and Tiffany's game room. It's a lot. It's a lot. And see, there are people who are on both sides of the argument. There are people who are like, there are people who say, you don't have to always, like, there are detractors who'll say, don't, just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't be happy. It doesn't mean that you can't have toys or collectibles. It doesn't mean you can't play video games. It doesn't mean this is true. You're right. It doesn't. But what I'm saying is, at the same time that you're doing all that stuff, you have to be realistic about why you're doing it. Is it a general love for the stuff? Is there a childlike innocence to the reason that you have all that stuff? Or is there a deep rooted psychological reason behind it? Like a deep depressive yearning for a happier time, and you're reliving it through the dopamine hit of going and buying this figure and buying that figure and buying this and that. You need to think about why you do the things you do. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to do it. I'm just saying you need to be honest about why you're doing it. With that, I gotta change my earbuds because they're dying. They have decided to die on me for no reason. Go. Okay, I'm back. I hope this doesn't really fuck with my stream or the audio. They probably will. Just be honest with you up front. Now we're on. Connected. Okay. Okay, I can still hear the game. What can you guys hear? Can you guys still hear the game? I hope. It looks like you can. I hope. I've given myself a headache. Today's video is really giving old man yells at clouds. But you know what? I feel better getting all that off my chest, so I don't care. I feel better saying what I said. I do. I really do. Whee. See, I feel better. I feel lighter having gotten that rant out, as opposed to just letting it fester. Know what I mean? I do wish they'd come up with new stuff, though. Like, I think ultimately that's the bigger part of it. Like, yeah, it makes me mad that you're just reselling me my childhood over and over, but at the same time, like, you're creatively just bankrupt. You've run out of stuff. Admit that you've run out of stuff. You have no ideas. Yes, your men and monks will have felt if they return to their temple completely caked in cow excrement. Well, I would like to know how it got caked in cow excrement to begin with. Maybe that's a thing you tell me. Because somebody would, like, here's the thing, you would have had to have gotten a ladder and climbed up here and done all of this with intent, like extreme intent, with prejudice. And how? How did you have this much available to do this? This is a weird one. This is a weird job. Honestly, I don't think I have too much to worry about because most of the videos that I've ever made on my channel kind of just slide away into the ether. Nobody really goes back and watches anything I make. And it's funny because every real once in a blue moon, I'll get a comment on a video from years ago and I'll be like, YouTube's still recommending these? How did you find this? But I don't know. I mean, it is what I want at the end of the day. I want people to watch the videos I put up, but at the same time, it's like, you have any idea how many videos I've put up? But no, I've gone back and forth and beat myself up. I've deleted entire videos, entire playthroughs because I got a little too lippy, said something I probably shouldn't have. Not necessarily TOS or any like violating or anything, but I just said something that I regretted or whatever. Granted, it doesn't happen super often, but it's happened more than once, which is already too many times. So, but I'm also to the point to where every once in a while, like if I have a ranty episode like I did today, just every once in a while, that's fine. As long as I don't do it every single episode. But, you know, I had that big political episode that we deleted the other day. And I didn't delete it because of the rants and my opinions. I just deleted it because I just don't feel like having that whole political discussion on my channel anymore. Because we're living in an era of not normal politics. We're kind of living in an era of, I don't even know how to explain it. A certain somebody hijacked our government. That's all I'm going to say. And nobody's doing anything to take it back. Somebody must be cooking. I smell biscuits. I do. It's not even morning. I smell biscuits. My family's big on the whole breakfast for dinner thing. They do it. They do it quite often, which is fine. I don't care. Damn, this is a little tedious. Now, this green isn't manure. That's more like a moss. What if you were to create a separate YouTube channel where you just upload your ranch, you like 500 videos on there? Probably. I don't know. You know, I've often thought about where my rants come from. Like, why do I feel so strongly about stuff that it gets me mouthy and gets me going? I don't know. My most recent opinion on why I do that and why my brain works that way and why my personality is that way is because I just want people to do the right thing. At the end of the day, that's really all I want. It's not that hard. It's not that deep. Like I ask for the bare minimum from every human alive. I ask for the bare minimum from society. And it's like every day, everywhere I turn, everywhere I look, it's just constant, nonstop fuckery. And it's gotten old. And I'm over it. There's not enough positivity in my life, you know. For one, the media and social media and all that stuff is so hell-bent on whipping you up into a frenzy. You don't really get to see a lot of good positive stuff online. It's just constant news stories about garbage that pisses you off. So there's that. Then people are constantly doing stupid shit that pisses you off. So there's that. I don't know. I've gone out of my way to try to not see stuff and pay attention to it. But what I've discovered is that even if I stop paying attention to politics, world news, or any of the stuff that makes me upsetty spaghetti, then I just find other stuff to be upset about. Video games, video game companies, the Pokemon rant that I had earlier. So I'm the common denominator here at the end of the day. Am I always going to find something to complain about? Is it just me? Or is everything really that sucky? You know what I mean? That ultimately is like the self-reflecting that you have to turn inwardly and do. You have to be like, okay, Eric, you do bitch about every fucking thing. So at the end of the day, it's just you. You just like to bitch. Or is everything really that terrible that I'm left with only the option of bitching? Honestly, in my opinion, it's a little of column A and it's a little of column B. Some days, some weeks, some months, one column is a little more weighty than the other. You know what I mean? But I'm trying. Trying doesn't always mean success, though. It means making an attempt. But I am kind of done beating myself up for when I do kind of fail. And I do feel at the end of the day that being like giddy and happy and forced, you know, merriment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I don't think that's a way to live. I don't think that's being true to you as a person, true to yourself, true to the world. If you're going to have a bitch fit every once in a while, it's best just to go ahead and have the bitch fit. The people who like you and care about you will still like you and care about you because you're not doing it every day. And if they don't like it, they can fuck off. And that's kind of where my head's at right now. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to navigate my mentals in the world that I live in. And it's not always easy. I'm not always going to get it right. I'm just doing my best. You know what? I should be using the ladder for this. Whoa. Oh, there you are, buddy. I'm sorry. I just tossed you on the ground. It was funny, though. I was like, hey, the gnome's up here. Drop. Right. I don't have a way to set him up. Cheat. Poor guy. Poor guy. Yeah, I don't know how to set him up. Ooh, almost. Little bitch. Well, let me put him down. You know what? G- g- Go and get. 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 Goodness. Yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot so far. Jesus. All I did was touch it. Okay. Where's that volcano in relation to where we are at the moment? Jesus, look at all of that. Okay. All right. It's my fault. I should have been using this button the whole time. It's my fault. By hand, I've been running me mouth. Now, hold up. No! I fell down. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad I stopped right here and checked. I thought that looked black over there, but I wasn't sure. I had to go up one more floor. One more glitchy getting stuck on nothing floors. What am I stuck on? Seriously? Where? Where's the teeny tiny little microscopic dot that's keeping that from pinging? I want to know. Oh, shit. Ooh. I nearly flung myself off. Okay. Sorry, I had something on the keyboard. Oh, go. Wow, that's a big ass jump. My God. I don't even want to look at you. Bang. 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 I'm starting to feel it. I don't even know how long I've been here because the string cut out so many times. It says 3 hours, but I don't know if I trust that because the internet dipped a few times. I don't even know if it was the internet so much as it was just my connection to Twitch's server, honestly, given the weather that we've had. Fuck, both my ladders are way the hell up there, too. I want to keep sitting here and playing this, but I'm also bored now. I've done this for so many hours today. I should probably go edit the footage and get it uploaded. Originally, Tyler and I were going to play some more Lego Star Wars today, but he still has no power. So, can't play without power. I don't know when his power is going to be back on, honestly. His whole state got destroyed in that ice storm. Like half his apartment complex has power, the other half doesn't. Guess which one he lives in? Guess which half he lives in? Yeah. Go figure, right? Okay. Okay. In there slowly. I did a sloppy job. Getting all of this. I think when I get this little bit, I'll be done for the day. We'll come back in and finish up this place next time. We have time. The monks aren't coming back anytime soon. We'll be fine. Imagine losing power. Did you lose power during this whole thing? I think it may have just been Tyler. I haven't seen anybody post anything in the Discord about it. I know that I didn't. None of my other friends lost power here. Nope, never lost power. That's good. I think Texas may have gotten off easier than we thought they would. I don't know how bad it got in Louisiana. I know Mississippi had some problems, but I'll be honest with you, from what I can tell, what I'm seeing online, I could be wrong, but it looks like Tennessee might have been the hardest hit place. Of course, I haven't checked anything today. I woke up, kind of went straight to streaming. Did a little cleaning first. Picked up around here a bit. And kind of been streaming all day. So I won't really see any news until I sit down later to see. And of course, I don't check the news anymore, so I'll only see like weather stuff. Shoot, I might have to put the ladder. Really? I'm not trying to climb the ladder. I'm trying to walk around here. Way at it. Way at it. Old. Damn. Oh, Lord. Yeah. I think I might be done for the day. I'm getting there. I'm exhausted. I'm right exhausted. Okay. Okay. That's it for the day. I don't know how many hours I streamed. That was plenty. All right. See you, folks.